Hey everyone, welcome to Fast Forward, the podcast about real conversations, not highlight reels. We explore the people behind the work, how they think, what drives them, and how they grow. Today, I am joined by the co founders of OOO Marketing, Danielle Neumann and Kristine Scichilone. Together, they help content forward brands sharpen their message, build real systems behind their marketing, and grow without burning out. Before starting OOO, they led brand and experiential strategy for some of the most recognizable media titles in the world. Now, they work directly with founders and growth stage companies to turn clarity into traction. Danielle, Christine, how are you?
Hi, Jeffrey.
Good. How are you, Jeffrey?
Doing great.
Thank you for
Glad to have you
having
For
guys
us.
on.
having us.
Yeah, for sure. Excited to hear about how you guys came together to form OOO Marketing and kind of what led you to that point. So, if either one of y'all would like to kind of give us a background story into what kind of spawned the idea of the marketing company and where you are today.
I'll
Yeah.
jump in with our origin story, which is pretty unusual, but pretty amazing, I think, although stressful at the time. So Christine and I worked for a big global media company. Actually, we were overseeing brand marketing and experiential for InStyle, Shape, and Health. And we were all 250 of us on a Zoom call in 2022 and all got laid off at the same time, along with the editor-in-chief and 250 other people. So
Wow.
it was like that moment from Succession. I don't know if you watched that, where there was
I
that
have.
Zoom call where they laid everybody off.
Yeah.
So right after that call ended, Christine and I and two other women we worked with got on the phone with each other and we're like, okay, what is our pivot here? And as we were talking, it kind of organically came about that at some point or another, all of us had had this dream of starting our own business and never, for whatever reason, never took the leap. And then it felt kind of, I guess, safer to be able to, jump off the cliff holding hands with three other women
Yeah.
than doing it yourself. So less than a week later, we started out of office marketing and we've been going full throttle ever since. And
Wow.
actually, that we were just featured in a book our editor in chief, Laura Brown, wrote called All the Cool Girls Get
I
Fired,
saw
which
that.
talked about our origin story, along with stories from other women, regular women and famous women who were also let go, including Oprah and Jamie Lee Curtis. So it's quite an
Mm.
honor to be alongside them.
Yeah, it's called All the Cool Girls Get Fired. Is that right?
Yes, and it's beautifully reframing the whole mindset about losing your job, and uh, it's it's really special to be a part of that. So there's not such a negative stigma, and
Mm.
people feel empowered and look for the doors it's opening instead of the door that just shut. And that's what kicked us into our business.
In only a week, you said.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
we
It
moved
was
very.
what layoff was February 9th. We were an LLC by the 22nd of
That's
February.
incredible.
Yeah.
And like like the firing itself, was it something that was unexpected, or did you see it kind of writing on the wall, or how did you come together in 13 days to form an LLC after being fired? Were you ready for it? I guess is my question.
I don't think anyone's ever ready for it.
Sure.
But there was always, hints. The industry itself was changing rapidly. We were every 2 years being acquired by a different company. So
Mm,
usually it was like whatever company's coming in is going to run it, and they're going to want the people that are there to run it. So there was some writing obviously on the wall. I think the us coming together, we had only known each other for a couple years prior. It wasn't like we had
oh, okay.
worked for years together, but I think it was that serendipitous thing of like our mindsets were aligned and what our wants and goals were for our futures were aligned. So it wasn't only skill set, it was how we want to grow and what we
Mhm.
want to build and do it together, which is rare to find. There's been a lot of instances in our past that maybe we thought about it or we tried it and, and maybe tried the freelance world and it didn't necessarily come to fruition and we ended up back in corporate. So it was really lucky of us to kind of come together and decide to take the leap and be successful. I mean, we started in 2022, it's 2026 now. So we're very lucky that we're building something because you have to grow every year.
Yeah,
And it worked out.
absolutely. I think it's probably more than luck, but yeah, luck is a part of it.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
so
We create
modest.
our own luck.
That's right.
There you go. So, how do you guys divvy up responsibilities amongst the four? It's four of you, correct?
We
Well, we
actually
all wear many hats.
Yeah, we wear
Yeah.
many hats and we started with four. One of our founders ended up stepping away to raise
Okay.
her family. And that was the other part of it, of having the wherewithal to be able to speak openly with your partners and say, you know what, this doesn't align with me anymore. And having that space to do what you want. So for us, divvying up things, to get back to your question, it's really about our skill sets, what lights us up. We try to take that approach to it. So depending on what the client needs are and what they're looking for from us, we lean into whoever the expert, to put that in quotes, might be the best leader for the project. And then we share responsibilities. And as a small company, sometimes we have to bring in help with that, either contracted or something like that. And
Right.
then we build the team around it. Since we know our secret sauce and we have such a great network of people, we're able to kind of build that team for whatever our clients' needs are
Mhm.
very easily, luckily.
And also we found, and this is true with owning a small business, you have to be comfortable with getting uncomfortable and doing
Mhm.
different things. A few years ago, if you had told me that I would be, essentially like a salesperson, selling OOO services or an accounting master or, building a website, I would have never believed it. But, you're just, it's a good push into those things that you have, never done before or didn't, have expertise in.
Yeah.
And now I'm mastering it.
True.
That really is one of the most important things, is finding comfort and being uncomfortable. As a business owner myself, this is something I'm always aware of. And I feel like the more I put myself out there, the more risk I take, calculated, of course, the more comfortable I am in pretty much all scenarios. So it's cool that the four of you now three of you are able to kind of go through it together and learn as a team, and then you take it. Oh, it's malleable. You're not just one certain way. You're always growing, progressing, and learning from either your successes or your failures, and getting to a point to where you are today.
Another thing that's been great with just, being in this business with my co-founders is we make sure to remind each other the importance of honoring that work-life blend that we committed ourselves to establishing
Okay.
when we formed this business. And that's challenging because when you're starting a business and growing it, it's some crazy hours. And anyway, it's nice to have, the others kind of reminding ourselves how important it is to
Yeah. To have
have.
someone back you up, especially, life approaches you really fast. And sometimes you can't control the work that's coming towards you or the life that's coming towards you. And to have that co founder backup is pretty amazing.
Yeah, no question. And just the ability to continue pushing at a high degree with with also realizing, it's, guys, we need to make sure that we're content in our lives outside of work, and giving time to our loved ones and everything
Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
team,
Yeah.
because that can be lost in entrepreneurial world for sure.
100%. And, our thing is that part of feeding that part of yourself is also feeding the business, because
Yeah.
I am way more creative when I'm
Mhm.
feeding that part of my life. If I'm ignoring it, my creativity also starts to go down because I'm just not being lit up in the places that I need to. So I think people forget that piece, that um, just because you don't need to be 24/7 work, 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 because it
Mhm.
actually can be detrimental to you.
Yeah, especially with creativity. That's one of those things that you can't really put your finger on. Like, how do I access more of that creativity in my mind? It doesn't just come And sometimes it does, right? But you
Right.
don't know how what's the magic potion behind how I'm creative today, and it really is comes from a strong life outside of work where you're completely fulfilled in whatever you may be doing and keeping that a focus.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So great that you guys are able to do that as a team. Really cool.
Thank you.
Uh, so how do you okay, so you come from corporate, you create the business and you start with your own client base. Where did you get going with that and how were you able to utilize what you had already built and really get the most out of it?
Yeah. So luckily, starting with four founders, we all had different networks. And so that was really helpful to us in the
Mhm.
beginning. And again, because of our hard work and we're at the top of our game in what we did before, we had good reputations. So with that came people who were in different places at the time, reaching out to our network, our extended network, all of us, and setting up conversations with people and making sure that it wasn't all about, just hiring me. It's just like, let me tell you where I'm at right now. Because what I'll say to you is like, in the beginning, not everybody's going to need you, but 6 months from now, 1 year from now, they
Mm.
might. And you need to keep them up to date with what you're doing and always checking in with people where you can help out. Maybe it's not necessarily again for a specific project or job, but it's like, hey, I saw this. I thought you'd be interested in this. And I will say that worked for us. I mean, Danielle, you can speak on this a little bit more because, as we say, Danielle became our chief
Mhm.
revenue officer in terms of networking. She's the one who really got out there and became our sales leader.
Yes. I mean, like you said, we were known for not only our skill set, but our work ethic. And that stays with people who we worked with years ago. And, that brought our very first client was Goop. So that was an amazing kickoff to our business. And we helped them execute and manage their wellness summit for 2 years in a row. So
Nice.
that was a great way to start our business.
For
But
sure.
then, we had other relationships that developed, whether it was for brand marketing projects or experiential. And I think people just know from our reputations that not only do we have a good work ethic, but we're forward thinking, we come in running, and we really just help, teams put their best forward. And we don't need a lot of ramp up. And we just come in and, show results very quickly. And that, kind of word of mouth spreads.
Right. And even in a digital marketing company, word of mouth is the strongest, right?
Yes.
Can't teach that. Over the years, what has been the direction of the company, like the transformation from 2022 to now? What is something that's you would say you're at now that you weren't expecting, or something that has really taken off that maybe you weren't as familiar with?
I'll pop in with something and then
Yeah.
Christine,
Go
I know
ahead,
you'll elaborate better, but
please.
what we're finding now as we're in it a few years, it's really about helping people build businesses that are clear and sustainable and aligned, not just louder or faster, because it's not about doing more, it's about doing what actually works.
Mm,
So there's that whole more, more, more mindset with a lot of companies, but we're trying to help them reframe that to focus more on clarity and things that actually work for you to get your message and storytelling out there in a way that resonates.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of the companies that we're working with right now that has shifted, we've done a lot of very focused project work, and we've also come in to try to help businesses show up clearly. So a lot of the times that is because the foundation itself is unclear and we're doing all the tactical things and all the cool things that are out there, but
mhm.
the actual brand DNA has become a little fuzzy. And that's just honestly can be workforces change, ownership changes,
Yeah.
things like that happen. And that's where things start to become maybe fuzzy. So we've noticed that because of our background and the years of where we grew up in the business, it was very much like the brand DNA, making sure that's focused, putting that out there. And that's the start of it. Having that foundation very clear and only showing up in places that made sense. Now, everyone's testing things out and the shiny new things and the objects that are out there. They need to come back to their foundation and make sure when they're showing up that it's organic, there's connection. It's not just buzzy. So we've been coming into some great opportunities because of that, because companies themselves are noticing that, like, great, we have this amazing social media expert, but they're not getting the right messaging out there. So we're brought in for those pieces as well.
I think also most people don't need more ideas or more inspiration. What they really need is more structure. So once you have like a clear message and a focused plan, then the momentum follows naturally.
Mm. It's like the old adage, quality over quantity, in a
Yeah,
sense. Like, I feel like
100.
we're all flooded with content these days, no matter where you go. And your point is the messaging isn't aligned with who the company truly is, in a sense.
Right. And then, like, not, am I allowed to swear on this, Jeffrey? But
Go for it. Yeah. This
the
is all ages. I
audiences
mean,
can smell
17 and up.
bullshit, right? They can smell it. They know when something's like, there's BS here. Like, this doesn't make sense for you to be doing this. So
Right. And
I
there's all
think
this
some
fluffy
companies need
language.
to, yeah. Go ahead, Danielle. Sorry.
There's all this fluffy language, but like, what do you actually do for me? Move out all that fluffy language and just tell me what your service, your brand does to help me move forward.
Removing the obscurity of language and being more precise to what you actually do and who you are as a company is basically one of your main focuses.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, there's so much that comes across my feed these days. I don't even know what to do with it all. And, not just that, but then we're introducing all sorts of new things through AI these days, and content there is also, you know, polluting the space even further.
Mm-hmm.
How do you
Mm-hmm.
guys utilize AI and or try to stay, within the frame of what you once were before AI even came out? It's a changing industry.
Yeah. Well, we see it as for sure a powerful tool, but only when there's already clarity. Clarity is the key.
Mm,
And AI is incredible at accelerating execution, but it can't decide what matters for you. And without a clear message or a clear strategy, it just helps people create more noise faster unless it's used right.
Yeah. You need a clear point of view, and AI doesn't have that. I mean, we all know we can feed it in there and it will agree with you all the time.
yeah,
Right? It will tell you that's an amazing idea. I will
no
give it
matter what.
a counter idea, and it will tell me that's amazing too. So make sure you understand what your point of view is before you start really using AI. AI is an
Mm,
amazing thing to, as Danielle said, accelerate things, make things move faster, automate things. But if you're not clear on your messaging, if you're not clear on what the brand DNA is, it's not going to be useful to you.
so
Yeah.
true.
You got to do the foundational work first.
So true. And it is a powerful tool, no question. However, if you're not sound in your appearance or who you are as a company, then you're really getting feedback that seems appropriate or powerful, but it actually is putting you down a path that's not helpful.
Yeah, because
One,
when you skip clarity and go straight to AI, you're going to end up with content that, sure, it sounds polished, but empty. And it might look right, but it doesn't move anything forward.
Are there any specific uses you guys have with AI tools or anything like that? Or you guys just kind of lean on what you already know, your past experiences as your true tools here?
Yeah, we definitely use it. And, I find it's great for things like pressure testing ideas or accelerating drafts or even exploring angles. But with the strategy, like I know I keep saying the same thing, but the strategy has to come from a human who understands the business, the audience, and understands the context. But yeah, we
yeah.
do use it.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the times, like, even for something, say we're scripting and we need to make 12 different pieces of social content out of it. Maybe we'll tap into AI for that, just to automate processes. But in no way do we take the draft that maybe AI or the outline that they created, and that's our final draft, because they will always be something that I'm like, wait, that does not even sound like me.
And you
So
can tell when someone, hasn't used it right
yeah,
No
or
question.
overuses.
Yeah, no question. But yeah, you got to really be careful with the tools that are available to us, and finding a way to utilize them that can be beneficial to your company is
Mhm.
also a tightrope. Trying to figure out how we can make our company more efficient, more advantageous. Because it is going to be used by people for even more in the future. Like it is a big part of our lives, and finding a way to utilize it as a tool for yourself, I think, is important. But maintaining that what you know and your identity is also just as important, if not more.
Yes.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about the podcast, Kristine.
Yes.
Tell me more about is it Rabbit Rabbit?
Yep. It's Rabbit Rabbit.
Okay.
We use the line already and thing, but it's all about creating your own luck in your work and life. And
I like that.
yeah,
Mhm.
right. So we do hit on marketing because we are a marketing company. But one of our overall messages through this is making work work for your life and life work for your work, and making sure that's all
Mm,
aligned and making sure everything is lighting you up. I want to be excited about work, and I want to be excited about my life. And this year we're excited, and I mentioned this in the preamble with you, Jeffrey, but like bringing some guests on and learning from them. We've put it
yeah.
out there, and we've put kind of how our journey on this, and now we kind of want to hear from other people what their journey is. So it's been an amazing experience for out of office marketing to have this podcast and have this ability to go put some of our personal stories out there to the world and bring a face to the brand, and
Mm.
know and connect with people in a different way than the normal way we might, where we're trying to sell our services.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, that's like essentially how I kind of framed this podcast exactly the same way. I think we get a lot of information about how the business is specifically and what they can offer you, but we don't know much about the people behind the business. And I think it's a powerful tool, and it's even beyond the monetary or the celebrity style stuff where I'm trying to be a content creator.
Right.
I think it's just good for us as humans, as a society, to be able to kind of have these conversations in a way that's beneficial just for us, like no other reason than that. And
Right.
The human connection factor
yeah,
is so important.
so important. So it's cool that you guys are doing it. So when do the guests start, Christine?
I think we record our first guest this month.
Yeah.
Danielle's like the one who schedules my schedules,
I'm
keeps
a
me in
talent
line.
coordinator hat.
Keeps me in line. And then we'll start pushing the guest episodes out in February. So we're going to
Nice.
try for at least one a month and then ramp up from there. We don't want to get overwhelmed, and still be able to put the content that our audience is used to out there
Sure.
and not change it up completely.
Sure. Yeah, do you guys so you have a team at OOO. How do you divvy up things? Do you have a lot of contract work? How do you kind of make sure the balances are all there, and you have, enough resources to tackle this project and so on?
Yeah. I think for us, there is contract work. So
Yeah,
we'll
of
put
course.
that out there when we need it. We automate where we can for more admin things.
Nice.
We're starting to ramp that up a little bit much, trying to take some accounting off of Danielle's head, do things like that. It's really based on projects,
Yeah.
and what the needs are and who we're going to bring in. And we're lucky that we work with some larger brands that we can actually come in and lead teams that are already in existence and use internal resources as well as our resources. So we do have that benefit in the type of work we do. For different smaller scale projects, that's when, yeah, we'll have to bring in, graphic designers and copywriters and things like that to help us accelerate projects, especially always depending on timelines, right? It
Yeah.
depends when the client needs it.
And we started out our business with already a great brain trust brain trust of network of, as Kristine said, vendors and designers and fabricators. And then also as we, move along in our business, each project that we do connects us with additional amazing talent. So we really have an
Right.
incredible brain trust that we tap into. So that's super helpful to have vetted people that we trust and will represent us well.
Yeah. That's a huge part of it is not only do they do good work, but also are they also some people that you can trust with timing and being there available for when deadlines, I'm sure, are a big part of your job. And a lot of times companies aren't, you know, as prepared as you'd like them to be. So there's always
Right.
tighter deadlines than you need to really get the job done. So that's cool that you guys are able to have a team of contractors ready for and available for you. So if you were going to fast forward a few years, how do you see the future of out of office marketing and what is on the horizon other than the podcast, of course,
Yeah.
or the guests?
Danielle, do you want to take this one? I feel like you have it right at the tip of your
Well,
tongue.
I will talk about something we're super excited about that's on the horizon because, like I've said, we keep seeing this pattern where we see constantly people struggling. They have strong ideas, but they're getting stuck because they don't have structure, and it's not because they're lazy or inexperienced. So Kristine and I decided to test a live 90-minute boot camp workshop at the end of the month that is going to address exactly that. It's not a course or a big program. It's just a working session for 90 minutes, and we're going to help people turn that idea that they've had in their head, but they just couldn't figure out how to get it out in the world. And we're going to walk away with a 30-day plan that they can actually act on, like a 30-day marketing plan. So, because we see it's so interesting to see how much momentum people get once they stop trying to do everything, but just focus on the next right steps. And so we're going to test that out with our boot camp and hopefully do a lot more of them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I think you said it before, Danielle, but it's about like helping people, helping businesses. We want them to be clear. We want them to be sustainable. It wants to be aligned with what you want your life to be. It's not about being louder or faster, but the future, it needs to be about doing more of what you love and what actually works.
Without sacrificing your Saturdays,
Exactly.
right?
That's one of our favorite lines. It's in our newsletter.
I love that always comes back up. It's
Sometimes you're going to have to, but it should never be the norm,
oh,
ever.
it's just what's the point? You have your own business. Why am I working more than I did at my corporate job? That's not the point.
Right.
And if I can't get there without doing that, then maybe this isn't right. Like that.
Right.
That's kind of the work life balance should improve drastically with your own business.
It should. And listen, we're not saying it's not hard and you're not going to have late nights and
Of
things
course.
like that. But that's the goal, is to how to build it sustainably, where to make revenue streams that make sense for you. Maybe we just talked about this in a recent newsletter, was things you need to sunset and say goodbye to because they're not working for you anymore. Like editing back things, like taking a look at your business as a whole and saying to yourself, this was amazing. I might have earned this much money, but I actually spent 600 hours on it. So
Yeah.
how much money did I actually earn from this? It's really about asking yourself hard questions. And that's really important. And since, it is the beginning of a new year, everybody who has their own business, everybody who's working at a job really hard and not feeling like it's aligning with where they are in life should ask those questions. Like, where can I edit back? Where can I sunset something that's not working for me anymore?
Mm.
Yeah, that's such a good point. So much of our work comes back to that, just helping people simplify so they can actually move forward.
Mm.
And it's through, like, we're saying it in a very big
Yeah.
lofty way, but like tactically, does having this, if someone does have a podcast, but they also have a TikTok platform and they also have a Instagram thing, like what's working and what isn't? Maybe focus on the one that's actually driving you forward instead of focusing on everything.
Yeah. And I imagine those conversations aren't always the easiest with prospective clients
It's
because
not.
change is not so accepted.
No. And Jeffrey, we've had to have it with ourselves. Like we'll sit there and like talk ourselves into something 20 times and continue to do it. And we know it's not the right thing. And then finally we had to say to ourselves, like, hey, we have to have a hard conversation. Like this isn't working anymore. And it might have seemed like an amazing idea at the time, but it's time to say like,
And sometimes it's a hard buy, meaning firm, but other times, like we said before, that sunsetting word, which I love, maybe it's just a sunsetting, a pause, putting it on the shelf for a bit until, the timing is better.
Yeah, there are different ways to go about approaching that. And that's why you guys are the experts.
we try.
I'm telling you, I know. Sometimes we slay so much in our meetings. When we're doing things together. How people can really help so many people.
Right?
I love it. I like how you guys focus on, improving your clients' marketing strategy, of course, but also keeping in mind the marketing needs to focus on who they actually are as a culture from the depths of what they represent needs to be part of what they're putting out there for people to see, and maintaining a healthy structure so you're not just pouring your whole life into something. It's important to continue to remain balanced.
Yes.
Yes. Great. Well, do you guys have any places that people can find you? Websites, social? Where do you prefer it?
I would say check out our website. It's OOO-marketing.com. You can check out our different landing pages. There's also OOO-marketing.com/bootcamp if you want to get some information on the bootcamp we're doing.
Okay, cool.
And and our Instagram is at Out of Office Marketing. And we'd love to continue the conversation with some of you.
Yeah.
Excellent. Kristine?
Yeah. It's the same thing. We'd love to continue the conversation. We have a great newsletter as well. If you're not ready for the boot camp, sign up for our newsletter. You'll find that at the bottom of our homepage. Easy sign up for that. It's called The Reboot. And it only lands in your inbox twice a month. So we don't want to overcrowd it, but it just is a little bit more of what we've been talking about. And it just gives you some great monthly advice of how to move yourself and your business forward.
Awesome. Well, you guys heard it here from Kristine and Danielle. They are the experts on marketing and more than that, obviously. And they are ready to take on your requests. It's been a pleasure meeting you guys. It's been really good getting to know you, learning about your business, kind of hearing your story, and excited to see what happens in the next few years. And it's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
Jeffrey, we're so glad to be connected with you now.
Yeah.
We'll be
I'm going to
following
get in the
you
Golden
as well.
Globes here soon.
Exactly. Golden Globes.
Podcast.
That's right.
Fast forward. Well, it's been great, guys.
All right.
Good talking, and have a good one.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, or really anywhere you get your podcasts. And maybe you can share it with someone you know that is either interested in business, interested in founder stories, kind of hearing the behind the scenes of why people do the things that they do, and just in general, good conversation. So be sure to subscribe and follow us everywhere.